This is explosive stuff here.
10 seconds left. Steel looks off. That's enough. That's enough.
Big time boxing!
Head-to-head, champion and challenger. But who really fits the bill as Lennox Lewis and Shannon Briggs weigh in for their World Heavyweight title showdown? Hello there, the big fight routine is now well underway and not long until the British strike team goes into action. Lewis against Briggs, a fight that will climax a memorable night of boxing this Saturday. Nicky Piper, part of our big fight team, joins me now to look ahead to a lineup of world-class action on both sides of the Atlantic. The challenger from the same hard streets that produced Tyson and Bo, how Shannon Briggs made something of his life. The champion, confident that nothing will sink his plan. Lewis lets his guard down, relax like never before. Hometown support in Philadelphia for Charles Brewer, buoyed up ahead of his world super middleweight title defense. And once the best of enemies, how rival promoters went from this
Frank Maloney's incompetent, he's stupid, and what he did was just wrong,
to become the best of pals. Anything can happen in boxing. All that plus a bumper bill from Hull. 2 British fighters get world title opportunities there, and there is also a lineup packed with some of the best rising talent in the country tasting international opposition. But first, though, we cross to Atlantic City. The weigh-in has taken place for the WBC World Heavyweight title. First on the scales, the challenger, Shannon Briggs.
Shannon Briggs, 228 pounds.
16 stone 4 for the young man from New York City. The champion, Lewis.
Lennox Lewis, 243 pounds.
17 stone 5.
Fighting weight, I'm glad that I made it. You know, most people don't think that heavyweights have to make weight, but me, I make sure that I have to make a certain weight. Keeps me disciplined.
This close to a fight after everything you've been through, do you ever get nervous still?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not particularly too nervous about this fight, but I usually get nervous. That just gives me a little bit of an edge.
You say not nervous. There's no problem of taking Briggs too lightly.
No, definitely not, because I realize that he's coming in, he wants to hurt me, and he definitely wants my WBC belt, and I'm not going to allow that.
What do you do between now and fight time?
Just relax, probably just think about the fight and think about what I need to do in the fight.
Because you've come so far, there's a lot to lose, isn't there?
There is a lot to lose, so you know, one thing definitely I can't do is think about taking him lightly, and you know, it's not really in my mind to take him lightly. I'm just going to go out there and do what I have to do to win this fight.
You made a big statement to the American public with the Gallotta win. Do you feel they need more convincing about your talent?
Yeah, I'm just going to continue making a statement. I mean, I think I need to make more of a. I made such a big statement that Evander Holyfield didn't want to fight me. So I'm just going to continue making a statement and make the people force the fight between me and him.
And what does making a statement mean with a Briggs fight? More than winning, have to look spectacular?
Just demolishing him. It's going after him and taking him out as quickly as possible.
Ian Dark posing the questions to Lennox Lewis. Ian joins us now from Atlantic City.
Yes, and it's very blowy here. It's a bit like a scene from Gone with the Wind here, Paul, at the moment. And, you know, one of the big talking points today here has been a supposed injury to Shannon Briggs. It's been reported he's got a damaged left hand and hasn't been doing too much sparring. Now, we've been wondering about the truth of those rumours and stories circulating here in Atlantic City. So who better to ask than Shannon Briggs himself?
That's not true at all. My hands feel great. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I feel great. You know, it's going to be a great fight. There's nothing wrong with me. I feel 101%. I'm ready.
You haven't been having any treatment at all, because nobody's seen you hit a punch bag this week. People have been wondering.
I'm saving it all for Lennox Lewis' head Saturday night, so I'm just saving all my strength and all my energy for that. I feel great. I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I couldn't be in better condition, no injuries. I feel great.
You said this week that we're going to see the animal in you, and you're going to leave your brain in the dressing room. Now, what did you mean? Is that a clue about your strategy for this fight?
Oh, yeah. I just feel like, you know, a lot of people have disrespected me and not giving me a chance, and I feel very, I'm pretty much mad about that, so I'm just going to take it out, you know, bring the fight to him Saturday night. Whatever I have to do to win, I'm going to do it.
Well, a very confident Shannon Briggs. Here is Frank Maloney, promoter here. Briggs does seem very, very confident. What do you make of these stories about the hand injury? He's denying it categorically.
Well, you know, I hope there is a hand injury, because if there is, it makes Lennox's job easier. But Briggs looked very fit at the weigh-in. There seems to be no trouble with his hand. I mean, he's been sparring 10 rounds in his training camp with big guys, so I don't think there's anything wrong with his hand. I think it's just a plot from maybe Briggs's camp to make us take it easy.
He certainly doesn't seem phased at all. He actually seems to be relishing it, and we rather felt Gallotta last time froze.
Yeah, I don't think Briggs has frozen yet, but it may happen on the night when he steps in the ring. But, you know, he's going in there to win this belt. This is a real fight that's going to take place here at Atlantic City.
Because Lennox Lewis, he seems to be now, doesn't he, at his absolute peak. There's this kind of serenity and aura about him these days.
Yeah, he's a different Lennox Lewis. In the last 18 months, he's come on leaps and bounds. I mean, I've seen fighters shrivel in front of him, but I will say this, Briggs hasn't done that yet. You know, let's hope he does it on the night. You know, but otherwise, I think we're in for a great fight.
A quick word about Evander Holyfield and the situation there, because he's fighting Henry Akinwande, we learn, on June the 6th. Say Holyfield was to lose that. I mean, that would be terrible for the whole heavyweight plot. We need him to win, don't we?
We definitely need Holyfield to win, but it's an awkward fight. You know, can he get up for the fight? I mean, Lewis against Akinwande in a second rematch, I don't think anyone would want to see that.
And they definitely want to see Holyfield and Lewis, don't they?
That's the fight the world want to see.
Yeah, let's hope that happens, and November might be a possibility, Paul.
First things first, though, Nicky Piper, what did you make of what you saw of the weigh-in there?
It was good to see Lewis coming in at the perfect weight, 17.5. He was 17.6 last time against Gallotta, so he's obviously trained. He's in as good condition as that, and he's not taking this fight lightly. Physically, he'll be in the best of conditions. I pick up on what Frank Maloney says there. I hope that Lennox isn't taking this fight lightly mentally, because sometimes it's impossible to. I mean, they all say, "Oh, I'm not taking it lightly," but it's impossible sometimes not to, because you know, if you think you're well above this guy in terms of ability, you're going to actually go in the ring thinking it's easy.
Lewis threw it away once before against Oliver McCall. Surely it would be an even greater crime to throw it away against a man who has not achieved what McCall had done before that night.
Well, he's an intelligent fighter, Lewis, and he walked into McCall the first round, just went to blow him out. It was such an easy fight for Lewis, and then suddenly he got careless and walked onto a big, I think it was a left hook, wasn't it? And right-handed to get back. Walked onto the right hand, and that was it, caught cold. In terms of ability, well above Oliver McCall, but took it easy. The same happened with Akinwande, and he had a bad performance.
The way he's regrouped since then has thrilled us all, Nicky, but there is still the need to hammer home the message. He's a non-American WBC World Heavyweight Champion, and they're unforgiving about that, aren't they?
No, you've got to work twice as hard. If you're not American, you've got to work twice as hard as anybody else. And Lennox Lewis, I'm sure, has got that in mind, and he'll want to put on a great performance. But I just hope he goes out there really concentrated, really up for this one.
It's all coming on Saturday night. Lewis against Briggs, top of the bill in Atlantic City. And there's also Charles Brewer defending his world super middleweight title against Britain's Harold Bomber Graham. More on that later. Before that, from Hull, the Hull Arena, a superb lineup of big fights topped by the world title opportunities for British bantamweight Paul Lloyd and the cruiserweight Terry Dunstan. It's a special event on Sky Box Office 3. For more information, call 0990 800 888. That's 0990 800 888 for more information. And more now on the most important fight of the night. Shannon Briggs, a man with the right pedigree when it comes to this tough business. He has escaped from life in one of the most downtrodden areas of the United States, following the example of some of the biggest names of the last decade, as Adam Smith reports.
Tell the man in the camera, who's going to be heavyweight champion of the world?
Shannon!
Right. Is he going to knock him out?
Yes!
An idol to kids in America, the bad boy who came good.
I look back and I think about my life, and I enjoy thinking about it and talking to myself, saying, you know, it's been a journey, and I'm so young, 26 years old, that I went through a lot, and here I am today.
Born and bred in Bedford's Stuyvesant, at the heart of New York's infamous Brownsville, where he was a street terror like so many other fighters.
I'm from a tough neighborhood, same neighborhood as Mike Tyson and Riddick Bowe, so it's been pretty rough. I didn't grow up in the nicest of neighborhoods, but it was a tough neighborhood, but it taught me a lot. I learned a lot all around, not just, you know, how to survive, but it just was a great neighborhood to grow up in and learn. You know, I was once a homeless kid, lived on the streets of Brooklyn, and and I just know that I wanted something better for my life, and I wanted to become something. So boxing at first was a thing to get me off the streets, actually. A place to go to hang out was the gym, and I later on made money for it. You know, the guys in the gym would pay me to spar with their fighters because I was just a drifter. And you know, they used to tell me, you got talent, you could be something, you could become a champion.
Shannon Briggs became very popular. The great new hope, unbeaten in 25 fights, the star attraction on the night of the young heavyweights. Until disaster struck. Knocked out by Darryl Wilson in 3 rounds, the bubble burst. But help came from a quite surprising source.
Lennox supported me very much after my loss to Darryl Wilson, so I feel good about that fact, and I have no dislike for him. I think he's a nice guy. And looking back, you can't ask for something like that, because now I know about the ups and downs, and not that I didn't know about the ups and downs in life, but I know about the ups and downs in boxing now.
Indeed, his greatest moment was tinged with controversy when he outpointed old master George Foreman to become the linear heavyweight champion.
It was more of an accomplishment for myself, not just to win, but going through it, the whole phase, knowing that I could fight a legend. You know, and that's why I feel good about this fight, because Lennox isn't a legend. You know, I feel finally I'm fighting a normal guy.
A rag to riches story of a fighter disciplined by the toughest game. But he needs that World Championship belt to take back to those treasured roots.
I'm bringing the belts home to the USG, more so than the USA. I'm bringing it to the United States ghetto where I'm from.
Well, he seems to represent a new generation in this heavyweight division, and what a prospect should he cause the upset. Articulate, highly marketable, great opportunity for him, isn't it?
It's a fantastic opportunity. He's very intelligent. He will know exactly what is at hand here and will have planned for it. So this is a tough test for Lennox Lewis. He's in with a guy who's thinking, who's a fair boxer, and who has a big punch. But you're right, this guy could go a long, long way.
What are his main strengths for you?
Well, he's quite tall, although he's being here, Lennox Lewis is taller. But he uses his jab well. He's a good puncher inside, good body shots. When he boxed George Foreman, he really landed some good shots inside. And what I liked against Foreman here, obviously, is he took Foreman's punches to go 12 rounds with Foreman. He's got that one defeat on his record. He was stopped, but he claims that was asthma causing that. But here you can see taking big, full-blooded shots from George Foreman. Not many men can do that.
Adam Smith mentioned in his report it was nonetheless a very contentious decision that he got that night. Does that play on this at all? Exposure in world level and a question mark over how well he performed?
I don't think so. There were some people that thought he won also, and boxing scoring is very subjective. It was a close fight, there's no doubt about that. George Foreman was in there punching, actually finished strong. He was very, very fit for this fight, and George is old, yes, but he carries one of the biggest punches ever in history.
Here's the bigger worry I have about Briggs, Nicky, that if you delve into his past, it's not long before you start to pick up on some searing criticism from well-established trainers and managers over the way this man will approach the job. What would you say?
Well, I think he's an intelligent man. Sometimes that can work against you. You think too much. And he's been criticised, as you say, for, at one stage, not having the bottle. But I think he's got it. I think he's up there. He knows the opportunity is there. He knows exactly what's open for him, and he'll be working for it.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Next up to Atlantic City we go for our top of the bill tonight. It is the WBC World Heavyweight title defence by Lennox Lewis against Shannon Briggs. Lewis wants to dominate the world, so to do that he must win tonight.
World title fight 4. Lennox Lewis. Shannon Briggs.
So here we go. It's 32 wins from 33 for Lennox Lewis. He has climbed almost to the position in the world heavyweight rankings where he is undisputedly world #1. He has the WBC World Heavyweight title. Shannon Briggs is going to try to take it from him tonight. Lewis knows he must retain it in order to go on to dominate. Adam Smith.
His mission is to clean up. Will it come true in '98?
This year is just to beat everybody that comes in front of me and just continue to prove that I'm the best heavyweight on the planet.
First in the firing line is Shannon Briggs, a street terror from the Brownsville ghetto. He's been raised in the boxing gym to fulfill his own true mission.
Here I am now fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. This has nothing to do with me. This has something to do with the man upstairs.